K4YDB, standing by for the Flyers. W2 WLD, W2 WLD. Bill, are you around this morning? Nothing heard. Kilo 1 Bravo, Oscar Bravo, standing by for the Air Force Flyers Club Net, which will begin in 16 minutes.
N5BE, I see you're turning up on the SDR. Are you in there, Lee? WA6LJS?
WA6LJS N5BE. Good morning, John. Good morning, Bob. Yeah, I just walked in. I'm sorry I couldn't get here earlier, but we had an appointment this morning, and we got that out of the way, so I'm back in the shack.
Oh, thank goodness you showed up, because I started NetLogger, but I'm expecting an air conditioning guy here any minute. So I told Bob, and so if you'll take over net control, because I don't see Mike in here. I mean, not net control, NetLogger. So if you'll take it over, because I'll be out of here any minute. We'll see. If he might be delayed, but I'll be as long as I can, but I'm going to need you to do the logger. WA6LJS.
Yeah, John, not a problem. I'm getting spun up now. I'll go ahead and take that over, and you can you can breathe easy. So I'm sorry, I just could not move that appointment this morning, and but I'm glad we got it done, and I'm back. WA6LJS N5BE.
Okay, real good. Yeah, no problem. It just everything happens at once out here. I've got a tree trimmer out there working, and the air conditioning guy just called on his way. So we'll see what happens. And I just see Mike did show up, so he'll help you out there. WA6LJS.
WA6LJS, WW5ENZ. Good morning, John. Yeah, it sounds like you guys are having some fun there for sure. Anyway, I'll be here. I was just running a little late today, too. You know, I guess we stayed up late and watched the debate, and I've been reading all kinds of stuff about it. And so, yeah, I know I'm here. But, yeah, I'll cover for N5BE, Leon. I'll cover for you, Lee, if you need it. Or I'll take the NetLogger if you need it. WW5ENZ.
Yeah, WW5ENC N5BE. I'm logged on now, so I can start logging. But if you would back me up, Mike, I do like the backup, N5BE.
Roger, QSL, N5BE and WW5ENZ.
Morning, Mike. K4YDB, and good morning to Lee. Glad you guys are there. You're doing the hard work. I'll just run the net. This will be easy. So glad you gentlemen are out there this morning. K4YDB. Has anyone heard from W2WLD? I was going to write him an email. I forgot yesterday. I haven't heard from him for, well, a couple weeks.
K1BOB, WW5ENZ. No, I have not seen him at all or heard anything about him. But I think he said both of his radio is going to be out too, so he's not even barefoot. So yeah, we probably won't hear from him until he gets that stuff back from the shop or buys new. I'm not sure. Anyway, WW5ENZ, and Bob, you got a great signal down here.
Ditto, Mike. S9 Plus here. I love it. Got a great signal. You don't need to put that up any higher. It does just fine. Leave the bend in it.
Roger, Roger. Well, I bent the thing back straight the other day with my truck and the winch on the front, but I'm afraid to move it too much. We'll see how it goes. I'm going to order one more section, put that section in, and then I'm going to make the tall pole shorter, and I think that'll be good. But that's, that seems like that's a big project. Anyway, WW5ENZ, standing by for the Air Force's Flyers Club.
Roger, Roger. K1BOB, and good morning to W5OG. And K4YDB. I see Charlie's in there, so I guess you do a stream. Charlie, I made up a question late last night, and so it'll be a simple one. But don't even try to put it up. I didn't even send it to you, so we'll run with what I got this morning. And thanks for doing the YouTube, Charlie. This is K1BOB, and that's going to start in 11 minutes.
Good signal, Bob. K1BOB, W5ABI, 20 over.
Very good, Joe. And S9, a little over S9, but the Flex I find is stingy compared to my ICOM. I don't know why. K1BOB.
Yeah, thanks for your report, Bob. K1BOB, W5ABI, standing by for next. W6WAY, feeding back to the net.
Hey, good morning, Jim. Good signal here. S9, Jim. Things are working for you well. Good to hear you this morning. We'll get you on the list.
I just wonder if we're going to be able to hit New Jersey. That would be waking everybody up. Rich, are you in there? JJO, W5PX.
Unit calling CQ. Frequencies in use. The Flyers Club is just ginning up to come on the air in just 9 minutes. If you could maybe move on frequency, I'd appreciate it here. We've been here for quite a while on this frequency this morning, so appreciate your indulging me. K1BOB, Flyers Club, going to begin in 9.
Get a quick contact before the net starts?
Sure, go ahead, contact.
Kilo 7 Foxtrot Whiskey. Just was doing some audio things in my parametric equalizer from my microphone, and find out if it sounded okay.
Well, you're only an S9 Plus and very good audio, sir. Good morning.
Well, thank you, sir. I appreciate that. Nice luck on you, too. My name is Rich. I'm located in north central Arizona, up in the high desert, about 4,800 feet above sea level.
Oh, very good. What's the town near here?
I'm near the little town of Cuscat.
Been there. I lived up in Flagstaff for 3 years on my final Air Force tour at the university there. So I've explored Arizona quite a bit. It's quite a state.
Oh, yeah, I'm about 17 miles south of a little town called Dewey, Humboldt, so it's on the way to Prescott off of I-17 there.
Yeah, nice area down. Been down there many times. I think somewhere right near there was a Lance dealership where we bought our first Lance cab over camper unit for our pickup truck there, and enjoyed that for many years.
Oh, I bet. I don't believe they're there anymore.
Roger, Roger. They weren't far from the interstate. Okay, sir. Well, thanks, and you got great signal there, and you're invited to join us, of course, on the Air Force Flyers, which we're going to be beginning here in 7 minutes. So, good to hear you. Let's see. KF Foxtrot Whiskey, I believe. This is K1BOB. Either a 73, if you want to get on our list, we'd be happy to have you as a guest today.
Okay, it's Kilo 7 Foxtrot Alpha Whiskey, and I am a veteran. I've been in the Navy, and I was plane captain in the Air Force Phantom Fighter Squadron in 1963.
Oh, wonderful. You fit right in. We'd love to have you. We'll get you on the list if that's good for you. We're on NetLogger, and I'm going to ask for further check-ins when we come up on the hour here. And I copied that was Kilo 7 Foxtrot Alpha Whiskey. And good to have you this morning, sir. So anyway, thanks for joining us.
Okay, I'll stick around for a little while because I have to go pick up some groceries at 9 a.m. So, but I'll hang out until that time comes about, and maybe you get a chance to get back to me. Okay?
Yeah, Roger. I'll get you in number one if you wish, and but that'll be a couple of minutes after 9 o'clock Central Time. I think I forget you're Central Time too, aren't you?
I am. I'm about 5 minutes ahead. Right now.
Well, we'll give you a call regardless. If you're there, you're there. If you're not, we know where you're going. K1BOB.
Okay, I'll try to be more prominent about coming and joining you. And that'd be quite fun, I'm sure.
Yeah, we have a good time with it every day of the year. So very good, sir. We'll give you a 73 in case you don't see it. And this is K1BOB.
All right, K1BOB, Kilo 7 Foxtrot Alpha Whiskey 73. Thank you, sir.
K2SJP, got you, Bob. Good signal. K1BOB.
K1BOB, K2SJP. Thank you, Bob.
K1BOB, W5OG, Don is in there, K0ZNC on Echo Link. I'll be glad to simul him in for you if you want me to, Bob.
Yeah, Dale, I've been copying on Echo Link here, but trying to talk on the HF at the same time, so I didn't get in there right away with Don, but I'd appreciate that. I'll make your job easier here. So copy, you'll bring Don in. Very good, Dale. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. That's Larry Kilo Bravo Zero Lima Tango Tango. I hear you, Larry W5OG. I'll make sure you're on the list.
Yeah, Net Control's got a good copy on you, Larry. Good morning to you, sir.
WHSLJS standing by for the Air Force Flyers Net, top of the hour.
Good morning and welcome to the Air Force Flyers Club Net. This is Kilo 1, Bravo, Oscar, Bravo. My name is Bob. I'll be your net controller today. Filling in for W2WLD, who's still radio out. My location is 30 miles north of Boise, Idaho, in the Idaho West Central Mountains. This net starts at 1500 UTC this time of year, plus or minus daylight savings time. And this is our frequency we usually try to stay on, 14290, 7 days a week, every day of the year. If you have NetLogger, we are on NetLogger. We currently have a fairly good list developed on NetLogger. You can also watch us on YouTube. If you go to YouTube, search and put in K4YDB, you can see us live stream. You'll probably hear me on there and the other folks on Charlie's Flex Radio. You'll also see the question of the day usually. Not today though, I didn't get it fast enough. So, and also you can see NetLogger on there too, so it's got everything all in one. And it's free. Just give Charlie's a thumbs up. You just need to punch the thumbs up. That pays for it. So, usually you can get on a couple of good SDRs of Utah. SDR2, if you can't hear me where you're at, you might try SDR2. Or sometimes better yet, the Lumpkin, Georgia repeater. The Lumpkin, Georgia repeater. And we are donators to the Utah system there every year for the last couple of years. And we'll continue to, so you're covered. Okay, let's see. We consist of military aviation members, both active and retired, from all air service branches. We also very much like to welcome visitors to the net. You don't need to be involved with the military or aviation to check in. We'd like to have you just the same. You can visit our website and learn a lot about us at www.airforcesflyersclub.org. That's Air Forces, plural, Flyers, plural, club.org. And that format is to once stay on the initial check-in list, make a second call for check-ins, and go to a 73 round to complete the net. Please try and limit your comments to a couple of minutes. We need to be off the net in about an hour and a half to allow the Alaska Pacific boys to come in on their net that's 2 KC above us. This is a directed bit. To contact net control, please use the word contact, relay, info, or check-in. We do have relays across the country. We're bound to get you one way by hook or by crook. So don't be shy on checking in with us. With that, I will run down the list as we have it today. I want to thank the combined work of John, Leon, and Mike for getting the NetLogger going and saving my bacon here. So on the list thus far this morning as I have it, we have K0ZNC, Don and Longmont, Dale, W5OG, we'll bring him in this morning. Next we have K7, FAW in Arizona, Rich, who checked in with us this morning. I think he has to leave right around now, so we'll see if he's there. We'll get you in very fast, Rich. After that, we have W5TIX, Clifford, Uncle Cliff out in his mobile, followed by Larry out in his mobile, KB0LTT. Good morning to Larry. After that, in Sparks, Nevada, we have Carl, KF7GJO. Good morning to Carl. And then we have Brian showing a visitor from Oregon, N6 Bravo Bravo Delta. Good morning, Brian. Next we have from Kyle from Fayetteville, Arkansas. That's KF5 Yankee Echo Bravo. Good morning to Kyle. And then we have Dale, Goddard, Kansas, KC0 Delta Victor Victor. And next we have John, our admissions officer. He does all our paperwork. And he does our investments, and he's our treasurer. So good morning, WA6LJS. He's probably going to have to step out with his air conditioner, guys. He wants to get that fixed. It's only 100 there. After that, we have John down in Arizona, Peoria, that is. W7AJN. Good morning, John. And next we have NX6RG from, that's Bob, Professor Bob from Pleasanton, east of San Fran. Good morning to Bob. After that, we have Leon, also a net controller, and one of our primaries now, if not the primary on NetLogger. Thank you, Leon, very much. That's N5 Bravo Echo. After that, we have Mike, who introduced us to NetLogger. He's in there, too. He's probably got his hand in it there. So Chief Mike out in Oklahoma, WW5ENZ. After that, we have our Vice Commander, and that is W5OG. Dale's going to relay Don in today, followed by the aforementioned K4YDB doing our NetLogger. Thank you very much for that, Charlie. That is a huge thing. I get people to come up on YouTube before I can get them to come in on the net on their radio sometimes. So good morning, Charlie. After that, we have Joe in the city of Crosses. W5ABI, and where that Boeing NASA shuttle just landed down there without people in it. Good morning to Joe. Next we have Jim out in Corona, W6WAY. Jim's done it all. Thank you for joining us this morning, Jim. And after that, we have Ray out in New Jersey, WP2JJO. Good morning to Ray. After that, we have Dave in DuPont, Washington. I may need help because I'm close to Washington. That's Kilo Echo 7, Quebec Whiskey Zulu. Good morning, Dave. After that, we have a subnet controller also, and that would be Bob out in, I don't know if it's still sunny out there in Florida. The storms might be getting close. That's K2SJP, Bob in Lutz, Florida. Good morning again, Bob. And after that, we have Brandon in Wiley, Texas, KI5SXE, KI5SXE. Good morning to Brandon. And then we have Art in New River, Arizona, WX7, Lima Lima. Good morning to Art. After that, we have Bob in Wiley, Texas, also, KG5ESC. Good morning to you, Bob. I'm not sure you go by Bob or Rob or Robert. I'm a Robert, and I could never get people to break the habit of not calling me Robert, so they always call me Bob, so I went with it finally. Okay, let's see. We got Brian and WB5DRI. He's bringing up the end so far there. Good morning, Brian, one of our net control on Saturdays. So with that, I'm going to ask for any other check-ins over the air. Any other check-ins that would like to cover your call sign, name and location, please. Any other check-ins? Come with your call sign, name and location, please. Kilo Delta 4 with Tango. Yes, yeah. Okay, I think I copied a Charlie. You're kind of light on me right now. I thought I copied Kilo Delta 4. Would you come back with your call sign slowly again, please? Roger, Roger. Kilo Delta 4 Whiskey Tango. This is Charlie and Kilo Sierra. And what was your location? Did you say Rancho Sierra?
Negative. Kansas. Kilo Sierra.
Okay, that makes more sense. Kansas, gotcha. Okay, well, welcome to the Flyers Club Net. Do you need to be an early out today, sir?
Roger. Just scanning through and checking in.
Did you say you're just checking in?
Roger.
Okay, well, have a great 73. Feel free to hang around. And very good. Have a good day, sir. You're about a 5-6 here in Idaho. Any other check-ins for the Air Force Flyers? Okay, let's see if WA6LJS is there. John, would you give a call, please?
Yeah, Wilco. I'm still here, but I could be called away any minute. This is WA6LJS relaying for net control for the Monday morning Air Force Flyers, and we're looking for check-ins, either members or visitors. Called out. All quiet out west. Back to you, Bob.
Okay, thank you. Let's try Dale, W5OG. Dale, would you please give a call out?
I will do, Bob. This is Whiskey 5, Oscar Golf, relaying for net control, taking additional check-ins. Check-ins for the Air Force's Flyers Club Net. Members or guests, call now. Kilo India 4, Sierra Charlie Victor. And write that down before I lose track of it. Kilo India 4, Sierra Charlie Victor. Yeah, your name and location, over. Well, I believe you said you dropped down into my noise. Give me your name and location again, please. Okay, Jim in Ohio. Mighty fine. Well, we've got you on the list. Are you familiar with the Air Force's Flyers Club Net, Jim? Okay, well, it's the Air Force's Flyers Club Net that kicks off every morning this time on this frequency. You can check out our website, airforcesflyersclub.org, if you're interested. Are you going to stick around with it for the net this morning, Jim, or are you just in and out? Over. Okay, well, we'll say 7-3 to you. You're about a 5 and 5 with me here in East Texas, Jim, okay? 7-3. And that's it, Bob. Back to net, W5OG.
Okay, copy. In and out. Very good, Dale. Thank you. And this is K4YDB, your net controller for today. Covering for W2WLG. I'm sorry. Yeah, Bill, W2WLD, and whose radio and amp is still down. And that is all good. Not for him, though. So we will continue here. And does anybody on today's list that I called out, anybody on the list require an early out that hasn't mentioned it? Any early outs? Okay, it's K4YDB, your net control, and we will start off the day here. I think everyone understands and knows the significance of 9/11, what it meant to us. Terrible tragedy. I'm not going to go into that. I'm not going to talk of what made that happen. It's too big a topic to do, but we all know the results of that. So today you should have your flag at half-mast if you haven't done it already for the remainder of the day. So I'm going to ask you, I've got 2 questions today. And first I'm going to give you the second question so you got some time to think about it. But I think most of us probably remember where we were during 9/11. So if you could just tell us where you were and what you were doing when 9/11 occurred. We'd like to hear from you on that. But here is the question of the day. And you got the second question already. The question is, many aircraft, such as the F-16, have their name, official Air Force name. like Falcon, Fighting Falcon or Falcon for the F-16. But there were many other names. Some are fun, some the air crews used and were talked about. There were unofficial names that kind of got a national recognition. And for the F-16, it was called either the Electric Jet, because it was one of the first fly-by-wire jets. It had a lot of electronics. And so they called it fly-by-wire, or the Electric Jet. Electric Jet. Another name for it, because of its shape and its size, they called it a lawn dart. Lawn dart, like the ones you threw when you were a kid before they made it illegal. Lawn dart. So I'm going to give you some unofficial, I'm going to give you an unofficial name. It's an unofficial name, but it was used on a number of aircraft. And I'm going to give you 5 choices here. But you're looking for the one that is false, which wasn't called, which was not called aluminum overcast. Some of these were, one or some were not. So you just pick out the one that was never called aluminum overcast. And I know this is open to some conjecture and whatever. I have my sources, so go with me on this. So we just want to know which one of these aircraft was not called aluminum overcast. Was it A, the Convair B-36 Peacemaker? The Convair P-36 Peacemaker. Was it not the Lockheed C-5 Galaxy? The Lockheed C-5 Galaxy. Yeah, all these aircraft are big. They're rated a little bit. Was it answer Charlie false? Douglas C-124 Globemaster. Charlie is the Douglas C-124 Globemaster. Or is it Delta? The Boeing B-52 Stratofortress, another huge airplane. Was it Delta, the Boeing B-52 Stratofortress? Or could it have also been Echo, the Lockheed Constellation? The Lockheed Constellation. So one or more of these were not called aluminum overcast. And by the way, there was a titanium overcast too. I think that's what they called the SR-71. So don't be confused with that. So that is question number 1. And question number 2 was, where were you and what were you doing when 9/11 occurred? I think we were all around for that. So with that, I'm going to start at the top of the list. I'm going to bring in, I want to try Rich in Dewey, Arizona first, because he had to be out like 15 minutes ago. Let me give him a try. K7FAW. Rich, are you there? You're up for the flyer, sir. Okay, nothing heard. He did say he'd probably have to go. Couldn't wait around that long. That's okay. Had a good copy on him this morning. Maybe we'll get him to come in again. So with that, I'm going to ask W5OG, Dale, if you would please bring in K0ZNC. Over to you.
Okay, will do, Bob. K0ZNC, go ahead, Don. I'll family you in. W5OG.
Morning, everyone. Thank you, Bob, for getting me in there and putting me over on HF. And thank you, Dale, for the simulcast effort there. Appreciate it from both of you. K0ZNC done in Longmont, Colorado. And good morning to all the flyers again. Well, let's see. The temperature here right now is really nice, 69 degrees. It could be 70 now already. But the last time I checked, which was about 5 minutes ago, it was 69. So, and the outlook for moisture today is 30%. And 30% seems to be kind of a standard fill-in figure from the weather. He seems to like that he never does much with it other than say it. We haven't had any rain here for quite a while. Let's see. The high today is going to be 88 degrees for a high. Well, let's see. Relative to the question, gosh, on question number 1, I had absolutely no idea. Call Charlie out on question number one. Charlie out there. And then on question number two, where was I? My wife and I were in our RV working on a church project up in Washington State, in Yakima, Washington. We had just finished that project, and we're packing up, getting ready to leave Yakima and head for Colorado. So, and my wife called me, and I was outside working to getting the RV ready, and she said, "Hey, come in here, take a look at this." So we got, we saw on TV, we saw the towers and everything go. Terrible, terrible day. But anyway, it is history, and hopefully people will remember the circumstances there and not let that happen again. I can't believe people in this world are that vicious and that, I'm going to call it stupid to try and do something like that when in the long run they know they're going to get caught, and in this case it may have taken a few years, but the leader and the perpetrator was with that, I will probably not be around for the 73 round, Bob, but give me a shout and we'll see. That is a possibility. With that, we'll turn it back to you, K4YDB, W5OG, K0ZSP.
W5OG, back to net.
Okay, thank you, Don. Got all that, and thank you, Dale. So pass on the, Charlie on the first one. He Charlied out on the first one, and thanks for your comments on where you were there, Don. This is K1BOB, your net controller. Let's go to Uncle Clifford. Uncle Clifford out in the mobile, W5PIX. W5PIX. Good morning, Cliff, again.
Good morning again, K1BOB and all the flyers, and, sad day, but for remembrance, I'm going to have to do the same thing as Don, because I was in Tailhook Navy, not the Air Force, so I have no idea what they were calling them aircraft, but if any of them were popping, the first one, they're probably the kind of the Super Connie, the Echo there, but that would be a guess. Anyways, on the second question, I was standing in front of the television in our old house here in Colbury, having a cup of coffee and getting ready to head to Houston and pick up a load. And it was that day, and seeing the fuel prices all of a sudden shoot up over there also. And then it was quite eerie that all aircraft were grounded, and everybody had to find a landing spot quick, because they were told to do it. So anyways, that was interesting. And I have seen the Twin Towers, and I've also seen without the Twin Towers. And I've been over there in New Jersey there, delivering some products across the Hudson River from where the towers once stood. It was kind of an eerie thought to look at that, but they did build something in its place, but one tower. Anyways, that's my 50 cents worth. Back to you, Commander. Yeah, I was listening for Captain Bill, but no joy on that. Anyways, back to the net. This W5PIX Mobile in Selma, Texas.
Okay, Clifford. Very good. And get you down for Echo. And with not enough room to say where you were at. Watching TV, drinking coffee prior to a run. Very good. Got all that. Thank you, Uncle Cliff. Let's go to our another mobile out there. Don't know where Larry's at, but let's go to KB0LTT. KB0LTT. Larry, good morning, sir. Okay, Larry, very good to hear you this morning. And I missed a little bit of that, but I caught the answer echo. And I think you said you're in Louisiana. Well, you're getting pretty close to home, I guess. You get all over. There's no doubt about that. Interesting job. So thank you, Larry. And we're going to move on to Carl, our operations officer. That's KF7 GJO. KF7 GJO. You're up, Carl.
Bob, good morning, everybody. KF7 GJO. Yeah, not too much going on down these parts. After yesterday's net, I got out in the backyard and did my Yamamoto routine, mowed and then edged the backyard, then took my leaf blower and blew all the pine needles up against the fence around and pitchforked them all into the trash can and stuffed that thing absolutely full to the gutter. So after that, I dug myself back in here, flopped down in my chair, and only to have the XYL come out and say, "Is that 200-foot extension cord draped all over the backyard?" So back out I went, and man, I was tired. I could hardly pick that thing up once I wound it up. Okay, interesting question. Unfortunately, it's not posted, so you can read it and then throw dots at your computer screen or throw darts at your computer screen to figure out which answer you want. The only one that I can think of is E. And interesting. What I remember of the question, Bob, the aluminum highway was the route between India and Kunming, China, that they flew over the Himalayas during the airlift in World War II. They referred to it as the aluminum highway from just following all the French airplanes on the ground. The second question, where was I on 9/11? I was just getting ready to climb in my truck to head to the sheriff's office. I had my biennial 3-day CSI recertification. And man, let me tell you, when it comes to things like classifying latent fingerprints and trace evidence, processing, and just a myriad of things they throw at you for 3 days, really makes you regret that you became a crime scene investigator. Anyway, that's where I was. I just opened the garage door, unlocked the door on my truck, was ready to climb in. The XYL ran out, said, come in, look at what's on the news. The World Trade Center was just hit. And so, yeah, a day that will live in infamy. Another one was November 22nd, 1963, when I was sitting in German treatment with ice cream. Next thing to find out what the answer really was to this question. So I plan on sticking around to the end, Bob, but the XYL might have something planned, so give me a call, and if I don't answer, you know why. Because that's for you, buddy. K4YDB with KF7. Be there.
Okay, very good, Carl. Got most of that, and we've got you down for answer echo. Thanks, Carl, for letting us know what you were doing. And we will move on. Now let's bring in a visitor from Oregon, and that's Brian, N6BBD. November 6th, Bravo, Bravo, Delta. Brian, you're up for the Flyers, sir. N6BBD. Anybody hearing him? I can't hear him. Mike, WW5ENZ, would you give a call? I think you probably pointed my way.
Roger, Roger. N6 BBD WW5ENZ relaying for net control. You're up, Brian. WW5ENZ. Nothing heard here. K1BOB WW5ENZ.
Thank you, Mike. Let's try another visitor. That'd be Kyle in Arkansas. K4YDB Kilo Foxtrot 5 Yankee Echo Bravo. Kyle, you're up for the Flyers. Okay, let's see if we can beat the odds with some of the visitors this morning that log in. Let's go to Dale in Kansas. KC0 Delta Victor Victor. KC0 Delta Victor Victor. Dale, are you there? Oh, nope, 3 for 3 on that one. Let's go to Hamul. I hope John's still there. W6LJS. John, thank you for the help this morning. He is probably out with his refrigerant guy. WA6LJS. John, you there? Yep, he's working his air conditioner. Let's try Peoria. That's John in Arizona. W7AJN. W7AJN. Good morning, John.
Thank you, Bob, for taking net control. And thanks to Leon and Mike and I hope Dale gets over his cold. Supposed to hear some nasal tones from Dale. And where was I? I was actually getting ready to work. That all day. I called in to work. It was always just stand down and do that. So I didn't really work that day. And actually, didn't really work a couple of days. That was interesting. So anyway, I had yesterday did the nurse something and take the other. Anyway, hear the answer. Actually, I will not. I just remembered my bathroom remodel is going to be really soon. So I'll look for the answer. I'll get my 7-3 here now. 7-3 to all the Flyers out there. I hope you make it a wonderful day. Good start, brother. K1BOB,
W7AJN, K1BOB. Well, very good, John. Nice copy on you here today, 8 or 9. And we've got you down for answer E. Now, I hear you Arizonans use the descriptor another day in paradise. Is paradise code word for a damn hut? I don't know. You think about that. Thanks, John. Glad everyone's doing okay. Let's go out to Pleasanton. That would be the professor in Poindexter. And NX6RG. Good morning, Bob.
Good morning, Bob. K4YDB in the group. This is boy, I hope you're hearing me okay today. I'm not hearing myself very well in Georgia SDR. Maybe it's coming better in Utah. You were booming in here this morning, Bob. It's before the net, but propagation changed right at the top of the hour, and you drop way down in the noise. Well, anyway, to answer your question on the solid aluminum overcast, I've heard that term used so many times, but I never heard it applied to the Constellation, but possibly it was, but put me down for Echo. But I was thinking about the C5 Galaxy in the two other unofficial nicknames. One was Spread, which was an acronym for which I won't repeat what it stood for. And then there was obviously Fat Albert, and I think a lot of us have had the experience of being in a traffic pattern at some point when a C5 kicked in with power way out on final, and inevitably somebody keys their mic and goes, hey, hey, hey. Oh, man, I'm sure the C5 crews probably got tired of that for a while. But, that's a huge plane, and pretty nifty airplane, I thought. But anyway, put me down for Echo. I've never heard of the Constellation being referred to as that, but who knows? It's a very interesting question. And for your second question, I had started working for a small internet security firm that was developing crypto products to secure mobile phones, and we'd worked a long weekend, and the next week we were told, take it easy coming in the mornings, and don't be here at 8 o'clock sharp, take some time. So anyway, I was watching the Today Show on TV at home when the first plane hit, and there wasn't a lot of information at first as to what kind of airplane it was, and I guess what struck me initially was the fact that unlike, and my thoughts flashed back to the Empire State Building when a B-25 hit it, I knew the weather was bad in that case, and what struck me when they first showed the pictures was, my gosh, it's CAVU. How could anybody, hit a building? That's crazy. And anyway, I got in my car, was driving to work, listening to the news, and then they announced the second plane had hit the other tower, and that's when I knew, probably like everybody else immediately, that this is a deliberate act. So I got into work, and one of the guys I worked with was a former Navy NIS. Before it was NCIS, it was called NIS, Naval Investigating Service. And he was an NIS officer, and we both looked at each other and said, man, we're at war. And interestingly enough, a couple of days ago, I was reading an article in, I think it was Foreign Affairs magazine, and somebody commented that Osama bin Laden had completely misjudged America's reaction when he set this thing into motion. He thought Americans were going to be completely discouraged by this and would just decide that they needed to get out of the Middle East and out of Saudi Arabia and just leave that whole area. And that, of course, is what he wanted. And he completely misjudged the response that America took. I don't know why he thought that, but, that was a huge error in judgment on his part. Anyway, those are my comments today, and I'll be here till the bottom, Bob. K4YDB and X6RG.
Okay, Bob, got you better direct than I do on any of the SDRs, but got all that, and thanks for giving us the blow-by-blow on how that went and bringing that back to our memories. And we've got you down for answer Echo, and let's see, what was I going to say? Yeah, there's also the story of the two F-16s. I think one was a female pilot, too, out of one of the reserve units nearby that scrambled. And they had orders to go up and take out any aircraft. Now, they weren't alert aircraft. They had no ordnance on board, so they figured the best thing they could do was have a mid-air collision if they have to do that. And they really thought they were going to have to, so they kind of thought about what they were going to do in the air. So that was a pretty startling thing to launch up into. But luckily they didn't have to do that. So with that, we're going to move on, and thank you, Bob. We're going to move on to N5BE. Lee, thank you for helping out with the net logger today. N5BE, Lee, you're up. Good morning.
K4YDB N5BE. Good morning, Bob. Again, I apologize for being late this morning. I just could not move that appointment, so but we're here. I'm going to just go with Echo right off the bat. Why not? I'm kind of hesitating about the B-52, but I'm going to just go with Echo. Where was I that day? What was I doing? I was just entering Bell Helicopter. I had the sports radio station on the car, and they started talking about what was going on TV, and I said, what is going on? And the initial report was it was possibly a commuter airliner that had hit one of the towers. And like Bob said, it was CAVU, so how can you do that? So that got my brain spinning, and so I walked into the plant, and the briefing room for the test flight, there was a TV in there, but it wasn't hooked up to anything. It was for briefings. So they jury-rigged it so we could watch the news, and we saw the second tower get hit live. And boy, the world changed right there. By that afternoon, I was getting calls from various GE executives who were stuck in Fort Worth. They had been dumped into downtown Fort Worth, and they looked me up in the directory, and they wanted to know how many vehicles I had in my motor pool here for GE executives. Because when they looked me up, I was a director for GE Aviation for the Southwest United States. And I said, there's only one vehicle, and it's mine. I said, I'm sorry. I said, enjoy downtown Fort Worth. And, everyone was so scared about being anywhere near tall buildings on that morning and afternoon. They didn't want to be downtown Fort Worth. So anyway, fast forward to 2 weeks later, something that will stick with me forever, and it was very moving. I think all of us here are involved in aviation have a deep respect for, the history of aviation and everything that surrounds it. I know I do in spades. Bell got permission from the FAA to move a helicopter from one plant to the other. This is when everything was grounded. So then he goes out, cranks up the 412, and I look down the flight line, and everybody in the plant had turned out. They stopped work. They turned out to watch this one helicopter take off and head north to the main plant. It just struck me as, wow, this is a special flight here. Not significant to anybody except us. So I'll always remember that. K4YDB N5BE.
Okay, very good, Lee. I'll get you down for Echo, and thank you for telling us where you're at, what you're doing, and yeah, a lot of stuff got grounded, didn't it? A lot of stuff. Anyway, thank you for that. And we're going to move on to Chief Mike. Mike, are you going to break the lemming line here? WW5ENZ. I know what your answer is.
You already know. Okay, K1BOB, WW5ENZ. Yeah, you know I was going to say Delta, don't you? Anyway, yeah, this is interesting. You know, I have worked on that aircraft for a long time and never heard it called that, but I think I think your question was which not called that, so I'm thinking I'm going to go with Delta. And, you know, it's a buff, and there's never been anything else but that to me. Anyway, also, also, Robert, I didn't know that you like to be called Robert. I always called you Bob, not because it was something that had to do with Robert. I just thought it was because your call sign, B-O-B, ha-ha. Anyway, let's see. Yeah, and what I was doing on 9/11, I remember doing this last year. We talked about this last year also. But I was a tanker branch chief. Actually, at the think it was a tanker squadron then. But yeah, I was going to a staff meeting up to the director's office, and I was going down, and then I guess I don't know how people see stuff in 3001, but you remember 3001 is probably one of the largest buildings on the base, and you know, and we somebody came out of one of the offices as I was walking by and said, "Hey, aircraft hit the tower," and then by the time I got up to the staff meeting, they had brought it up on the screen there, and then that's when we saw the second one hit. So, yeah, that's crazy stuff. But what's crazier was the day after. The day after was terrible. We had a tightened security all over the place, and I took off for work at about 6:30 in the morning. I had to be there before 7. And I sat on the interstate until noon. It took me all the way till noon just to get to Tinker from I don't know. I lived in town then too, so it was only a few miles, but we just weren't moving because they were checking every car and looking underneath the car for bombs, and it just took forever. So after that, we staggered shifts, but that first day, it was terrible. Anyway, that's my 2 minutes, and I just got a call here that says my chairs were ready. I've got to go pick those up before lunch here, so I'll probably just be one and done there, Bob. But thanks for doing the net. You're doing a great job, and I think Lee's been doing a great job on net logger, so you probably won't miss me that much today. WW5ENZ 73s, everybody. I'll turn it back to K1BOB Connect Control.
Okay, Mike, thank you for all that. No, I go by Bob. I tried to fight that till I was 14 or 15, and everyone called me Bob anyway, so I threw the towel in on that. So I know Rob's and Bob's up here where I live, though. Everyone's, and yeah, you gotta remember. Yeah, well, you can thank me for you taking so long to get on base. That was one of the checklists we had to do. And I'll talk about a little bit about what I did more. Yeah, we were there at the same time. I don't know, we must have run into each other, because I was still there till 2002, I think, before I got my last assignment. So thank you, Mike. And got your dad for answer Delta. He's fighting the Lemming line. Or is he? Let's go to W5OG in Mineola. Dale, good morning again. Thank you for bringing Donna.
Okay, fine, Bob. Yeah, I noticed during that, this is W5OG, by the way. Good morning to everybody on the net. I noticed on my simulcast with Don that I was getting that little bit of popping in the background. I don't know. I thought I had it fixed, but maybe not. But anyway, I don't hear it now. I'm just strictly on the mic. And maybe just repositioning the mic might have had something to do with it. I don't know. Anyway. Yeah, interesting question. Carol and I were here at home, right where we are right now, and I was still flying for UPS, but I was between trips and happened to be home on the way out the door to go for a run, and she says, she had the TV on in the kitchen, and she said, "Yeah, you better look at this. The airplane just hit one of the Twin Towers in New York City." And of course, I came in and we watched the rest of the day there. Glued, sort of seemed like glued to the TV. And the world changed forever, and no question about that. Everything changed, and I was glad that I was between trips and not on the road. Some of those poor guys got stuck out, and they had a difficult time just getting home. Especially if you had part of your trip yet to go. Anyway, I was between trips and off, so that was a good time to be not flying. Anyway, that's and as far as the answer to your other question, I guess I'll go with the longest lemming line, Echo. We'll see how that turns out, and I'll see if this this thing holds together for the remainder of the net there. And I think Don left. He had said he had something to do. Now I can hear that cracking starting up again. Seems like the longer I talk, then it starts. I don't know what the world that is causing that. Anyway, back to you there, Bob. K1BOB and the net, W5OG.
Okay, Dale, we get you down for answer echo, and I do not hear the crackling you're hearing, but I can tell when you're aimed north away from me, so you can hear better. So you're only about an F6 all morning, not your usual 9 plus some days, and I understand why. So, okay, so I'm going to just reiterate that we got single answers here. I did say it could be one, none, all, or any amount could be false. With that, I no choice but to keep going here. And that wasn't a clue or anything. It was just what I said twice at the beginning. Maybe some of you didn't hear that, but it looks like a pretty good living line to me thus far. So let's go out to Cartersville. That would be Charlie. Sorry I haven't come up on YouTube, Charlie. Been too busy. K4YDB. Good morning, Charlie.
K1BOB, K4YDB. Well, good morning, Bob. Morning to all the flyers and visitors out there. I hope everybody's having a really good day today. Right now, it is currently 77 degrees here. It's supposed to get back up in the low 80s again. It's just a repeat of yesterday. Everything is staying the same. Humidity's up to about 62%. I did have a little message come up that said we had rain in the forecast, but I pulled up the map and needless to say, I didn't see anything out there. But one thing we really could use right now is some rain. Grass is very, very dry out here and it's brown, and I hate to mess with it. I certainly don't want to have to water it, that's for sure. Right now, conditions are all over the place, Bob. I mean, 1 minute you're just above the noise, and then you had two transmissions there, and one of them you were S9 plus, and then you were just above the noise. So it's hard to give you a signal report unless you want one right for that right very minute. But as far as what I was doing for that day, I wasn't doing anything spectacular so far as I know. I know I was at home when it happened, and I just happened to just turn the TV on and see all what was going on. I did not see the first plane, but I did see the second plane hit the towers, and that's when I really got interested in it. But not a lot else going on over here. I've been on the all morning with doctor's offices trying to get my appointment scheduled. I got to go in this afternoon and meet with the nurse. They want to go over another procedure they want to do on my little heart over here. They did the echo. They do say, well, I do have a leak, so I don't know what that means. But anyway, I guess they can't put some sealer on there or something. I don't know. Anyway, that's all that's going on over here. So I'll turn it back to you, Mr. Bob. K1BOB, K4YDB. I'm back to net.
Okay, Charlie. Yeah, you're a little light also, and the conditions are going up and down. That's my perception from this end. And did you say echo, Charlie? Did you have an answer? Did you care to answer?
Oh, yeah. Put me down for echo.
Okay, very good. And we've got you down for echo also. Thank you for doing the YouTube there. I'll probably review it later today. Pick up any mistakes. Well, I guess one thing is I'm not moving quite fast enough here because we're just over halfway down the list. The 73 round may be in peril. Let's go out to Las Cruces. That's Joe, W5ABI. Good morning, Joe.
Yeah, K4YDB and the Flyers, W5ABI. Good morning, Bob, and the rest of the Flyers. Thanks for running the net. Beautiful morning here, clear blue skies, no wind. 70 degrees, supposed to go up to 96. So our fall weather here was short-lived, so hopefully we'll get back down in the 80s. Anyhow, what was I doing on 9/11? I remember getting up and getting ready for my teaching job at the local high school, which was about maybe 10 minutes away drive. And I saw the first plane hit the Twin Towers. And when I got to school, I had a TV in my classroom, so we watched the whole thing. I saw the second plane crash into the Twin Towers. So it was unbelievable. I couldn't believe, and some of the pitfalls, the guys were, the terrorists were renting planes in Arizona and learning how to take off. Or no, they didn't care about landing. They just wanted to know how to operate the plane. So who knows? Anyhow, I'll keep it short because we're running out of time. My answer is Echo. We'll be here at the bottom. K4YDB, W5ABI.
W5ABI, great signal, Joe, and S9 here. You're holding up very well. We've got you down for Echo also. Okay, let's go out to Jim in Corona, W6, WAY. Good morning, Jim.
Good morning, Bob. Let's see. The big 124 was called Old Chasey. And was my answer from the Echo. And then where I was 9/11. I was, let's see, I was still living up in Mountain View, California. We were just leaving for a trip to my friends in Corona, this place up there, and we were just going up to visit them. And so we didn't see any of it when it happened, but we had to get in the car, and we went through let's see, the next one on the map is, the big fire. There's a fire about, let's see, about 50 miles away from us. And it's something not for the man, because the smoke cloud right over it. It has been for a couple of days. I don't know why they named it that. I guess it was down there on the all stuff. So it's kind of angry over us. But held the coat. People today. I don't know why that is. Anyway, back over to
K1BOB,
Okay, Jim. Well, you've got one of the better signals this morning. You're in S9 here. Very, very clear. Well done. And I think you mentioned Old Shaky as the Douglas C-124. Very good on that. Did you have an answer for the question today, Jim?
Echo.
Okay, I thought you might have said Echo. Very good. Thank you. We got you down for answer Echo. It looks like a strong bet. Or is it? All right, thanks. Yeah, Cronin's have pretty nice climate from everything I've heard about it. And good not that far, not being too close. We got the same situation here. We get smoke every day. All right, we'll leave Jim for now. We're going to go out to Ray, way out in New Jersey, at WB2 JJO. WB2 JJO. Good morning, Ray. You're up.
Good morning, Bob. K1BOB from WB2JJO. Well, I'll tell you what, this is a very, very solemn net today, from what it is, that's for sure. Let's see, as far as the question goes, I'm going to go with Echo because everybody else says Echo, and the professor said Echo, so I'm going to go with Echo. But seriously, sir, I really don't know the answer. As far as that goes, but if he said it's Echo, I'm going to go with it, high. As far as the second part, where was I? Well, let's see, we were in the electric shop at the time. I worked at casinos here in Atlantic City, and we was in an electric shop that time, and someone flipped on the TV set. Yeah, just about every shop, believe it or not, had a TV set. It's just the way things were. And we saw this, and I'm just going to tell you, no work got done that day. No work got done that day. Even the bosses, what do you call, kind of like didn't really push us or nothing like that there, because there was a lot of things that was going on, and as you know, there was a lot of conspiracy theories that came up after it. So, and we had some pretty good discussions, and we had some pretty good arguments in the shop too, of like why it happened and how it happened, so on and so forth. But that's where I was. I was still at work at the time, and I was not retired yet. So, but it was a long time ago, and yeah, we got our flag at half-mast. I just wanted you to know that. You asked the question whether we have the flag or not. Yeah, it's half. And I run my flag 24/7, and it's lighted at night. Definitely lighted at night. Properly lighted at night. So with that there, Bob, I'm going to kick it back over to you. And like I said, you'll give me an E for it today. I'll go for the constellation, and back to you. And if you want to be called Robert, I'll call you Robert. There's nothing wrong with that. K1BOB, WB2JJO. Back to you, sir.
Okay, very good, Ray. Call me Bob, please. I go by Bob ever since I was 15. So that's good. We got you down for Echo. Now, if all the lemmings jump off a cliff, would you too? Your mother must have said that at one time. Gotcha. It turned into a no-work day when 9/11 occurred, and great. Thanks on the feedback on your flag. Yeah, we do have a lit flag, and we get notifications when you have to take it down. Usually my wife reminds me, hey, get it down. I gave her a picture this morning where I got up with a flag in that, so she knew I did it. She's down in Salt Lake, so very good. Good on all that, right? We're going to move to King Echo 7, Quebec, WZ, up in Washington. That's Dave, number 752. Good morning, Dave. Kilo Echo 7, Quebec, Whiskey Zulu. Dave, are you there? You're up for Flyers. Anybody here? Okay, nothing heard here. Let's go out to Bob in Florida. K2SJP. Good morning, Bob. You're up for the Flyers, sir. K2SJP. K2SJP. Bob, are you there?
K2SJP, you're up, Bob, W5OG relay. He must have stepped away, Bob. We had a big signal here.
Yeah, same here. Thank you, Dale. Let's try Brandon in Wiley, Texas. That's KI5SXE, number 743. Brandon, good morning. KI5SXE. Brandon, are you there? Okay, nothing heard. I guess because of the length of the net here today. We're going to go out to Art in Arizona. WX7, Lima Lima. Art, you're up. Okay, very good. And what you were doing then, and cop it all. Good signal here, Art, as always. I wasn't sure what your answer was. Was it echo? Okay, got a Roger on echo. You got it. Thank you, Art. Let's try Robert in Wiley, Texas. That's KG5ESC. Are you there, Bob or Rob?
Kilo Golf 5 Echo Sierra Charlie. The handle here is Bob, just like you, Robert. So, yeah, a good copy here into Wiley, Texas. It's never been online on the Flyers Club, but getting back to what you were asking about, where I was on 9/11, I was at one of my good customers' offices, and they had a TV in the kitchen. And the whole company came into the kitchen lunch area to watch the melee, but it was a very sad day. But not to tie you up, back to you, and have a great net.
Okay, Bob. Well, thank you very much. Yeah, you can call me Bob. Just don't call me late for dinner. And did you care to venture an answer? I'd recommend echo.
All right, great. Well, sorry about that, and we'll see you up and down the band another time. Maybe I'll log on again next morning. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, and thanks for joining us. We appreciate it. Always love to have visitors to the net, too. So let's go to another station in Texas, and that would be San Antonio, and that's Brian, WB5DRI. Good morning, Brian. What do you think?
K4YDB and the net. This is WB5DRI, Brian, down here in San Antonio. Well, good morning, Bob, and thanks for doing the net this morning, and good morning to the net. And we've got a lot of visitors, and along with the regulars here on the Flyers Club net this morning. Not too many of our visitors are sticking around, a few of them, but it's good to have them in here with us. Good to hear everybody, and I remember that particular day. Of course, I think all of us do. I think it's one of those pivotal moments in U.S. American history, no doubt about it. And I was actually working as a civilian for the Air Force out at Randolph Air Force Base in the Air Force Personnel Center, doing computer security, for the Air Force personnel data systems out there. And there was a master sergeant in the office that I worked in, and he brought the news up as soon as it happened. He brought it up on one of the computers that we had, one of the monitors in the room there. And so I watched the news coverage, and I saw while I was working, I saw, of course, the second aircraft hit the Twin Towers, and at that point we both knew, and everybody in the room knew, that this was no accident, that it was a terroristic attack. But anyway, yeah, it was quite a moment in history, no question about it. And let's see, on your question here about the aluminum overcast, I thought that there was actually maybe a B-17 and a B-29 that were also called that at one time, but I'm not sure, not positive about the B-29, but I think there was a B-17 as well. But anyway, on these aircraft that you provided, I'll go with the Constellation Echo there, because that seems to be the consensus of the group this morning, Bob. But thanks for getting us all in there, and great net on this solemn day here. Let me turn it back to you. There's still a few stations to get in there, I think. K4YDB, WB5DRI, back to that. Good morning, everybody.
Okay, good morning, Brian. I got you down for Answer Echo, and you were at the MPC. I guess I forgot you worked there. It had to be computer security. You couldn't help me get promoted to general, could you? Maybe you could. I don't know. He'd have to shoot me if he did. Thank you, Brian. Let's go to a visitor in West Virginia. That's Gary. WB8UGP. WB8 Uniform Golf Papa. You there, Gary? One more try. WB8UGP. You there, Gary?
He's checked out on the aim window, Bob.
Okay, thank you, Lee. And let's go to Nelson, Cave Creek, Arizona. NHC. K7. NHC. I had a hard time reading that. Anyway, Nelson, you're up. K7NHC. Are you there, Nelson?
Bob, he's also showing checked out.
Okay, thank you. Well, let's go last but certainly not least on the list, I believe. That'd be number 28, and that's KG5PTE. That would be James in Belton, Texas. Good morning, James.
Morning, Bob. K1BOB, KG5PTE. Here on the Yaesu 991 and listening on the digital Lumpkin SDR. I'll clear myself pretty well, so hopefully you're hearing me. And I'm assuming the question of the day is what was we doing on 9/11 on September 11th, 2001? And surely remembering those people that lost their lives on this day. I was an active duty staff sergeant, E5, and I was still stationed at Shepherd Air Force Base and with the 362nd Training Squadron. And I was about to PCS. In fact, I was already out processed from the squadron and was getting ready to transfer to the 325th Fighter Squadron at Tyndall. But I was in the middle of getting ready to pack out that day. In fact, the movers were just showing up when the first plane hit the building. And I was stationed right next to the guard shack. And I ran over, looked out across the fence, and I yelled at the security forces guys and said, "Hey, what's our threat-con level?" And they said, "We're normal." And I said, "Well, you better look again, because we just got hit by the World Trade Center. Just got hit by an aircraft, and man, it wasn't even just a few minutes later they locked the place down." But fast forward later that afternoon, I literally had to walk out the gate to Domino's Pizza to go pick up food because there was no way to get back on the gate through the gate with the car. Like she said, you weren't going to get through the gate with a vehicle. So, and literally it took me an hour just to walk outside the gate and back to the house with 2 pizzas to eat for food. So I'll never forget that day. But Yep. I was at Shepherd Air Force Base today. That happened, and I was getting ready to transfer to. In fact, my orders got delayed a little bit. I had actually stay on base another few days later before I was able to leave Shepherd en route to Tyndall Air Force Base, and then, but of course, I was able to come home on leave here in Belton for a few weeks too. So that's where I was at when 9/11 happened, and I'll never forget that day when our world changed. So anyway, thanks for running the net, and thanks for letting me check in. K1BOB, KG5PT.
Okay, James, you want to go for the first question?
I'll go with Echo.
Okay, he's placing money on a good bet. This is the end of the list this morning as I have it. Did I miss anybody on today's list? How about K2SJP? Bob, are you there?
LJS is back.
Oh, John, go ahead. Take one.
Yeah, it's got bad news. It looks like the A-frame, the coil's got the leak up in the attic there. It's always something. Anyway, at least we know what the problem. Now we got to get an estimate how much it's going to cost to get that fixed. I didn't hear the question, but I see that there's a strong lemming line for Echo, so put me down for Echo, Bob. And I'll try to get over to the Echo link after the net. K1BOB, WA6LJS.
Okay, John. Going with the lemmings, eh? Good bet. And let's see. Did I miss anybody on today's list? Anybody else that I missed on today's list? Come now, please. Okay, nothing heard. We've only got a few minutes here, so we'll just go by exception. First, I'm going to give the answers, though, and then we'll do what we can afterwards by exception. And which aircraft were not called aluminum overcast? So it could have been more than one. And the answers are, well, Convair B-36, answer A. It was true. It was called aluminum overcast, the B-36 Peacemaker. Answer A was true. And let's see, you didn't give that as an answer. Many of you, actually. Answer Bravo was the Lockheed C-5 Galaxy. Well, it's been called a lot of things. I heard one funny one called economic disaster because of the cost overruns when they made the C-5, but I can see why. But Bravo, that was not the answer, so that was, in that regard, it was true. It was actually called aluminum overcast, as the Convair was. And answer Charlie, the 124 Globemaster, old Shaky, that was true also. It was called aluminum overcast. However, Delta, the B-52 Stratofortress, I cannot find where it was ever called aluminum overcast. It's been called a lot of other things like big, ugly, flying something, but not aluminum overcast. So that was a true answer. Chief Mike, I knew he'd know that. However, he didn't know that Echo was also a false answer. So Delta was false. The B-52 was not called it. And the Lockheed Constellation, I made that one up. It was not called aluminum overcast. So answer Delta and Echo was the best answer, but Delta was an answer and Echo was an answer, so congratulations everybody. Congratulations all around. Y'all got the answer right. Let's see. Good reminder, we are going to be on Echolink. Echolink here after the net. There's a few of us on there now, so we can talk to each other a little bit better. What was I doing? I was on the same base, Tinker Air Force Base, which is a rather large installation. I was the vice wing commander, so we had responsibility for all the security. And that's why probably Chief Mike couldn't get on the base afterwards, because we had to stop every car and do a full search on every car, every vehicle, and then we started to ease off on that. But that was what the checklist called for at the time, and that's what we had to do. I forget the DEFCON on that. I think it went up. I was just stepping into my staff car to go down to the staff meeting for my boss, where I would have seen Chief Mike there at the same meeting. We never met each other, or maybe we did and we didn't know it at the time. Mike would have been a civilian then, a high mucky muck civilian after he was the highest rank he could attain in the Air Force. So Chief Mike would have been there, and I would have been there for that meeting, but I don't remember ever running into him. Let's see. So that's where I was at. That's what I was doing. Then we had to go through a ton of checklists to ensure the safety of the base, and actually put in a lot more things like radiation detectors and all sorts of stuff. It was a big hassle for quite a while. So with that, that's the conclusion of the net. I'll take anybody that we missed today or any other last comments, and then I'm going to go over to the Echo Link on the AFFC node, Echo Link on AFFC, and we'll convene there. This is K4YDB. Any last comments?
Over comment.
Go ahead, comment.
Yeah, this is W78JN. I just wanted to give honor to flight number 3 that crashed in Shanksville, Pennsylvania. Honor the men and women who were on that flight, and also the men who forced that plane down. That was the biggest sacrifice for that. So this is W78JN.
Good comment, John, and yeah, they didn't mention that, but that was certainly a big deal for those men and women that they probably knew they were about to lose their life or could have, but they certainly prevented further tragedy in that aircraft by resisting. So thank you, good comment there. And I don't quite know, I think the flag only stays down for today. I don't quite know why it's just for today, I guess just to coincide with the date. But heck, we've had a senator dies, and heck, they're going to leave the flag down for 4 or 5 days, or until they're interned. That's something else. Depending on what situation they were, I might or might not. Anyways, K4YDB, any last comment? I'm going to close it down here.
What was the answer to this question, Bob?
Oh, I heard something very, very light out there. Anybody catch it?
Yeah, there's a question about what the answers were. The answer was Delta and Echo. Delta and Echo.
Okay, thank you, Lee. With that, one last time, any other comments before I relinquish the frequency? Thanks for all the help, guys. You know who you are. NetLogger and YouTube there, and all the comments. Very good stuff this morning, gentlemen. And with that, this is K4YDB. I've had the honor doing today, and we will see you on Echo Link. This is K4YDB relinquishing the frequency.